Welcome to an historic day for Sydney. Today is the grand opening of Sydney Metro, Australia's biggest public transport project. Hi, I'm David Whitehill and we're here live at Tallawong Station. And today we're going to go for a ride on this 21st century railway. We're going to have a look at some of the features. We're going to catch up with some of the people who have been behind the scenes making this dream become a reality. We're also going to chat with some of the public who have been out here today riding the network for free, and they're going to tell us about the train and also about these amazing stations that you can see behind me that'll really become a bit of a landmark for the communities out here in northwest Sydney. Now, first of all, a project like this is enormous and there are a whole lot of challenges that go as part of that. So let's take a look at the build process that's gone on over the last 8 years. Sydney Metro Northwest was officially announced in April 2011, with tunnelling starting at Bella Vista in September 2014. For the first time in Australia, 4 tunnel boring machines were used to dig twin 15-kilometre long tunnels. Each TBM, as they were known, weighed 900 tonnes and were 120 metres long, the length of 2 A380 Super Jumbos end-to-end. By 2015, the next phase was beginning. 2 giant horizontal gantry cranes built the SkyTrain viaduct from Bella Vista to Rouse Hill. About 80,000 tonnes of concrete was used to build the 1,128 concrete segments forming the SkyTrain's 4-kilometre deck. Around the same time, the Windsor Road Railway cable stay bridge began construction. The gantry built the deck and 2 45-metre high towers were delivered in night operations. Further up the line, the giant Sydney Metro Trains facility was beginning to take shape. This area houses the control centre, maintenance sheds and stabling yards. A major milestone was reached in 2017 when the first of 22 Metro trains arrived in Sydney. They were unwrapped and made ready for extensive testing. In 2018, the stations themselves began to spring to life. The distinctive gum leaf shaped canopies were craned into place and station boxes were topped off. Then the extensive fit-out began, like the hundreds of coloured glass panels that were lifted into place. As stations were nearing completion, the community were offered the chance to take a sneak peek inside. After 400,000 kilometres of testing, the driverless Metro trains were ready for commissioning, and Sydney Metro was ready to change the way of life for people in the northwest.
I'm so pleased to announce formally that from May 26, the North West Rail Line, the North West Metro, will be open to the public. And I'm so thrilled people of Sydney and New South Wales will be able to use this fantastic new public transport option.
Well, it's been quite a journey and the people out here in northwest Sydney have definitely been waiting for a railway like this for decades. One man who definitely knows that is John Lamond, who is the CEO of Sydney Metro. And a historic day, you'd have to say, for Sydney.
Oh, it's a historic day for Sydney, but it's a historic day for Australia as well. So many firsts here, the first driverless trains, so many innovations like platform screen doors and everything else. Just great that we've, after 8 years, as you say, brought it open to the general public. We've got real passengers on board now, 75,000 plus, and they're still coming in. What a day for everybody.
It is pretty incredible out here, isn't it? And the vibe from the people out here has just been great today. I think they're really enjoying it.
Well, I've been on the train listening to people and listening to what they're saying, and you know, so many of them have said how fantastic it is. They like the technology, they like the speed of the thing, they like looking out the front with a driverless train. Really excited for the kids, and of course it's for their tomorrows, so great news.
Mate, it must bring a big smile to your face because it's been 8 years in the making. It's been such a massive process.
Well, I've only been here for the last 6 months, but I've got the best bit of it, really, of bringing it into public use. So great for all of us, really, and a real tribute to everyone who's worked on this programme. And
you've had quite a few community days prior to this as well. What's been the reaction of the public?
Well, we've had about 10,500 people through our community days as these stations, as we've shown them off to the public, and the messages from people have been please get it open. They want it so much because they haven't had great public transport here in the Northwest. They really wanted to enjoy the experience. The day we opened at Cherrybrook and brought 2 trains in, and we got a round of applause. How often does that happen on public transport?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, today it is Sunday. And it's a nice relaxed Sunday, you've got to say. Tomorrow is Monday. It's the first time it's going to be working with the transport system and obviously peak hour. Tell me how you think we're going to go.
Well, even today we knew that there'd be some small teething troubles, and yes, we had one at Macquarie Park where a door on a train stopped the train and we had to take it manually into Chatswood. But we did that as fast as we could, and then we recovered the service so it's back to normal. And that's the sort of thing that we've been practicing so that we can get it done as slickly as possible, back into service, and away we go again. So tomorrow, when we launch with a full peak service, that's what we'll do. And one of the things we were able to do today was to introduce a few extra services just to make sure we recover, and that's the sort of spirit we want for tomorrow, giving a good service to the public.
John, today I've had a great time out here, but congratulations to you and the team as well, because you know, to get it to this point now, and obviously there's another stage on its way as well. It's an amazing effort, so well done.
Thanks very much, David.
Thanks for joining us. Cheers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, we are here live at Tallawong Station, obviously for the launch of Sydney Metro. This is Australia's biggest public transport project at the moment. They are launching with 13 stations open today. One of the great things that I think is that it's actually a driverless train system, which is an actual first for Australia. Now, of course, the Premier and the Minister officially launched the Sydney Metro today, and this is what they had to say.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Good job, everybody. Today is a historic day for New South Wales and for Australia, the first metro services on our wonderful nation. But more importantly, this means tens of thousands of people will have access to this wonderful way of getting around Greater Sydney. And this is the start of something new, and I'm thrilled by the focus and discipline we've been able to demonstrate over the past 8 years to make this project come alive.
We speak of tomorrow's Sydney. Well, we now have today's Sydney. This is the start of something very special for our state. Everybody is going to benefit from this train line. Not just those who get to ride it every day, but also the rest of the Sydney Trains network.
I want to take this opportunity to thank all 22,000 workers who literally work day and night, underground, above ground, on our systems, bringing together Australia's best and the world's best to deliver this fantastic piece of infrastructure. I couldn't feel prouder today.
It's really exciting to have been a part of it. The last 8 years has been a journey. I've been counting them day in, day out. 2,972 days to be precise that we've been working on this job, and I know every worker has been really proud of the sense of contribution they're making to the history of Sydney. So we're really excited to have the construction journey complete, and we're incredibly excited now for the journey for our customers to actually get on these trains and start to use them.
Today isn't about us, it's about the future generations who'll not only rely on this service to get on with their lives, but also the fact that thousands of people won't have to drive anymore. Thousands of people will have this option.
That was the first trip.
Fantastic, wonderful. Thank you.
Well, that was the premiere earlier today. Now, as you can see, the design that has gone into these amazing stations behind me is just beautiful, and it fits really perfectly into the landscape. And we caught up with station designer Ross de Lamond earlier today to get his insights into the inspiration.
Sydney Metro, it's a way for Sydney-siders to experience public place and transport and a sense of community that they will have never had before. Over the years, I've heard people talk about these large rail projects as transport projects. It's a rail project, it's a heavy engineering project. Yes, it is, but it's actually so much more than that. The customer is the centre of everything we do. It is absolutely true. That motif, that concept, has transformed the way transport and public realm design is delivered in Australia. Classically, good design would start with getting the functionality right. But I think the great opportunity for architecture and urban design is to bring that human dimension to it. How do you build a sense of community identity and deal with all the functional requirements of a station so that when people go into a station environment that is pleasurable, you can actually have an experience that innovates your soul and gives you happiness. So integrating engineering, architecture and landscape, and ideally people might see these as artful as well. This is transport product for the everyday person to improve their lives, and if you can make it easier for mums and dads and kids, school kids, tourists, the aged and infirm, that's what is Metro.
The head of Transport Authority in New South Wales is Rod Staples, and I got to catch up with him earlier today just to find out a little bit more about the system, and him and I went on the trains to have a bit of a ride.
So David, if you're new to Metro, the first thing you're going to notice is these doors. How safe they are. They open up, they keep you protected from falling onto the tracks or a kid falling onto the tracks.
Yeah.
And as soon as you go to walk through, look how level it is.
Right.
How small gaps, so safe.
God, the accessibility is incredible.
Yeah, and then you step on to the train. Then you can see from one end right down to the other.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot more sense of space. You've got areas where wheelchairs could be parked at multiple points along the train, or if you want to put a pram in those same sort of locations, particularly at the ends of the trains, we've put little spots for prams so that the parents can be at the front or the back of the train where they know their kids are going to want to be to look out.
And that accessibility though is so important, isn't it? Especially for families like you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely, and being able to get on any part of the train, and then if you get on and it's a little bit crowded, you can move up where you can see a bit more space as well, and it's really easy to do because you can walk along the full length of the train really easy.
And one of the things that everyone is wanting to know about is this driverless element.
First in Australia, we looked around the world, what's the best way to do Metro systems, and here we are with a fully automated driverless system. So it runs by a computer. You can get up the front and you can see the train driving itself along.
Yeah.
Makes it more efficient, makes it more reliable, and the safest system you could ever have in the world.
If you've just joined us, we are live from Tallawong Station here, enjoying a beautiful day out in Sydney for the Sydney Metro launch today. Now, we have had 75,000 people so far come through the network and enjoy checking out what the network is all about and just experiencing not only the trains but also these amazing stations behind me. So we thought who better to tell us what they thought about the whole project than the people themselves.
We're on the first day of the Tangara, so we had to be on this one.
It's fantastic, the speed's great, the view's perfect once you get to the bridges.
Yeah, it's been fun.
The kids have loved it.
I travel from Wollongong. The reason I came today because I caught the steam engine to school, and I think it's great that they've got driverless trains.
I think it's fantastic because there are an awful lot of people and it's the first time they're trying it, and the crowd control and the way that people are getting on and off is just brilliant.
So excited. We come from Concord. Yeah, far away. Yeah, just come here for the Metro today.
Wonderful, loved it. I've grown up in this area all my life and been watching it develop, and it's excellent. It's sleek and it's pristine and the stations are amazing. So it's been a wonderful trip with my daughter.
Well, we're back here live with Rod Staples, who is the Secretary for Transport. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks, David.
Mate, what a day. We've been catching up with the public out here and they're having a fantastic time. But there's been a few questions that I thought I might just throw to you, if that's all right.
Fire away.
Everyone wants to know about this driverless train system and I guess how safe it is, how effective it is, and you are probably the man to answer those questions.
Absolutely, I've been working on this, thinking about all the details for the last 8 years. I know all the details behind this system, and we've taken the best from around the world, where millions of people travel every day on systems like this, and they're the safest systems in the world. The stats show it, the details show it. We've brought that to Sydney, first in Australia. A computer drives it, there's lots of safety backups in it. We've got the screen doors that we heard John talk about before and you saw in the video clips.
Yeah.
This is so safe, it keeps people away from all the risky areas, and the train knows where every other train is at any one time, so we can keep them apart.
Mate, it was quite extraordinary. We went for a ride together earlier on today and just getting onto the train, getting off the train, and just that whole process seems really simple. Is that something that you guys have really focused on?
We want this to be a really simple, easy journey for customers. So level platforms, more doors along the train. You don't really need to think about things, just get up, step off, and you're on your journey. Train turns up, lots of doors, step on, find a seat really easily. The convenience is phenomenal. You can see all the way through the train.
Yeah.
It's a bit crowded in one area, move to another area, no problem.
And so what happens tomorrow, because this is obviously stage one, this metro system gets you through to Chatswood and then you team up with the double-decker buses, is that correct?
So it's actually the trains.
The train, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. But look, today's been a really special day. You talked about the 75,000
Yeah.
or more, and we've still got people right behind us now pouring through the system.
Yeah.
And they've come from all over Sydney, and in fact, I've even spoken to a few that came from the Central Coast.
Oh,
so
really?
You get a
Wow.
real sense of, we've got a lot of people come for a special day, fare free, and they really just wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're really into business, and that's about moving people to and from places like Macquarie, Chatswood and the city. So if you're living out here in the northwest and you want to go to Macquarie Park, straight on, straight off, destination done. But if you're going to the city, it is a bit different at the moment. You're going to have to change at Chatswood to get onto some of our most modern suburban double-deck trains. But we've set those platforms up so it's straight off, straight across onto the other platform and on with your journey down to the city. And that actually is only an interim thing for about 5 years. We've got a bigger plan.
That was my next question, because I thought we might get that in now. When is the next stage starting up and when do you think it might be finished?
So construction's well underway. We've already done more than 10 kilometres of tunnelling.
Unreal.
For a tunnel from Chatswood under the harbour, through Barangaroo, Martin Place, Town Hall, Central, out to Sydenham and out to Bankstown. So this line, which today is the first in Australia, will be extended.
Right.
And the construction is already underway, so you can be absolutely certain. And when that happens, this issue we've been talking about at Chatswood will disappear, because people can just stay on the train, head all the way to the city. And in fact, what will happen is that people will maybe start switching the other way at Chatswood and start to take the metro, because it's a 10 to 15 minute quicker trip to get from Chatswood into the city by tunnelling underneath.
Mate, people are going to love you when this all works. It all lines up together. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, look, talking to people today, you got a real sense, and particularly those that are living around here, telling the stories about how this is going to change their lives.
Yeah.
How their trips are going to be different. People with kids, how they're going to be able to stay at home but start to go to education in Macquarie and further across Sydney because of what we've created here.
Yeah, and very, very quickly, tunnelling underneath Sydney Harbour, that cannot be easy.
No, it's not. It's
probably a big question.
It's a big engineering challenge, but you know what? Australia has got some of the best tunnelling engineers in the world. They delivered this tunnel here in the northwest 10 months ahead of schedule. We've got the same contractors working in the city at the moment. They're preparing for a special tunnel machine to go under the harbour, and we've got some of the best experts in the world to deliver that. In the future, you won't even think twice about the fact that you're underwater travelling through on the train, because you'll just be really stoked, really happy that you're on a train that's getting there every 4 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you so very much, mate, and congratulations again on today.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for joining us. Well, ladies and gents, it has been a fantastic day out here. One of the amazing things is the 75,000 people. You can still see people lining up now to have a go on the network, which is just amazing and such a tribute to the project. If you do want more information, you can actually register for updates. You can go to the Sydney Metro website, but I can happily say that the Sydney Metro is now officially open. It is wonderful. It's been a long time coming, but it's now here for you, Sydney. So enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you out there on the tracks.